Hi, I'm Naz, and welcome to Studio Colomo. I've just recently got back from a holiday to Tokyo and the Setouchi area here in Japan. It was a solo getaway for a little over a week in mid-May, and I thought it would be interesting to talk through the pieces I brought with me from my me-made wardrobe. As I mentioned, it was a solo trip, and I don't really feel comfortable setting up a tripod or taking selfies in public, so I don't have much footage of me actually wearing the outfits out and about. Instead, I'm going to show you exactly which pieces I packed and why I chose them. I'll also share how I styled them and how I mixed and matched each item for specific days of the journey. Whether you're planning a visit to Japan yourself or trying to decide which handmade garments to pack for an upcoming trip, I hope this video will be helpful for you. So without further ado, let's just jump right in. Now, I'm not usually a trainer person, but I had a rather active itinerary planned for the end of this trip. So I decided to treat myself to this retro, sporty pair by the Japanese brand Mizuno. I actually built my entire travel wardrobe around them, including this thrifted utility jacket. It was a lifesaver for indoor spaces. Like even on a sunny 30-degree day, the air conditioning on Japanese trains and in buildings can feel absolutely freezing. With the outerwear covered, let's dive into the actual me-made pieces I packed. The first handmade piece I brought with me, or actually traveled in, was this beloved pair of jeans. I made them using a pattern from a Japanese sewing book. It was originally a standard trouser pattern, but I made a few little tweaks here and there to make them look like a proper pair of jeans instead. I chose them for this trip because obviously denim doesn't require frequent washing. It still looks absolutely fine even if you get caught in the rain, and most importantly, they go with literally everything in my wardrobe. They were the perfect, reliable base for the whole journey. For my other bottom piece, I brought along this cotton tuck skirt. It's 100% cotton, so it definitely wrinkles, but because of the bold, abstract print, you really can't notice them much at all. The fabric, by the way, is by my absolute favorite company, HOKKOH. I actually made this by replicating a vintage skirt I already owned. The original had a slightly snugger fit, so I decided to make this version a bit more relaxed, ensuring I'd stay completely comfortable even after having a big meal. It turned out to be the ultimate, effortless piece for eating my way through the trip. The next garment is this black linen vest, or a tank top, which I made using a self-drafted pattern. It's 100% Japanese linen, so again it does wrinkle, but that's the whole point of linen, right? It just adds the perfect texture to the garment. It's also incredibly breathable, and I was so glad I brought a sleeveless piece with me. On the day I actually wore it, it was absolutely boiling outside, so this kept me nice and cool. Well, maybe not cool per se, but comfortable enough. And here is the next piece. I made this top again using a pattern from a Japanese sewing book. It features these lovely tucked puffy sleeves and a really nice relaxed fit. Thanks to the embroidered texture of the fabric, you don't really notice any wrinkles or sweat marks, which in my opinion is a massive tick for a travel wardrobe. It's just so low maintenance and easy to wear. Next up, I have an open collar dress. I mean, who wouldn't want to bring a me-made dress on holiday? I actually had a pretty extensive list of dresses I wanted to bring with me, but this one won for a couple of reasons. The main reason was the fabric, which I picked up from Kamakura Swany. It's a cotton linen blend, and the weight is on the slightly heavier side. It could be a bit too warm for a hot summer day, but it was absolutely perfect for the early summer weather I had on this trip. As for the design, I used a pattern from another Japanese sewing book. It features elbow-length sleeves, so they cover your arms, which is brilliant when you're under that blasting air conditioning. But they're still nice and airy. Another massive bonus about this dress is that it's almost entirely wrinkle-free. This top here is another good one for traveling. It is 100% polyester from memory, so it's not breathable like other natural fabrics, but because of the interesting floaty design with side openings, there's plenty of room for a breeze to come through. When I first made this top from a Japanese sewing book, it looked just like a poncho to me. Nothing wrong with that, but it was very different from what I had in my mind. So I decided to add some elastic on both sides of the bodice to give it the shape that I pictured, and I think it worked. The last me-made piece that I brought on my trip was this top here. I made this using the Isobel Dress pattern by Paper Doll Patterns and hacked it into a blouse. I love this pattern so much, especially this top here I made with another HOKKOH fabric. It has the perfect balance of coverage and breathability. In addition to these handmade items, I also brought some non-handmade garments on this trip. These included a ribbed cardi by the knitwear brand ONICA, a matching vest and cardi set made from a linen blend with some synthetic fibers, a plain funnel neck black pullover, and an oversized striped shirt by Gallego Desportes, which are all hand-me-downs from either my sister or my mom. I also packed some t-shirts and leggings for more athletic activities. Oh, and I can't forget my handmade camera purse. Okay, now let me walk you through how I styled everything for each part of the journey. My first destination was Tokyo. I live in the northern part of Japan and have a sister in Tokyo, so I flew into Haneda first. I stayed at her place for several nights, visiting museums, eating out, and just enjoying the early summer weather, which, by the way, feels so short and rare nowadays in Tokyo. For the flight to Tokyo, I chose my trusty pair of jeans for comfort, the linen blend vest because it doesn't wrinkle even after sitting for hours, and the ribbed cardi to keep me warm on the plane. On this day, I went straight to the National Museum of Nature and Science in Ueno after landing. It was nice and sunny, and Ueno Park was filled with people just enjoying the weather, but inside the museum was ever so slightly chilly, so the cardi was a perfect choice for this itinerary. On the next day, which fell on a weekend, I had a lunch appointment at a rather nice restaurant in Nihombashi. I wore my tucked skirt paired with the black funnel neck pullover. I anticipated it might be too hot in that quarter-sleeved top, but it was perfect. Even though it was nice and sunny, it was slightly windy and it was freezing cold on the underground ride to Nihombashi. On my third day in Tokyo, I wore the same skirt but styled it with my black linen tank and the ribbed cardi. My sister, her partner, and I went on an exhibition this day, and the skirt made me feel artistic. Again, it was a very sunny day, and I barely needed my cardi, except for the underground rides. Monday arrived, and I spent the day exploring the Tokyo Station area and taking in some of the beautiful historic architecture, including Tokyo Station itself. I was also very much looking forward to visiting Shinjuku Okadaya, one of the largest fabric and craft stores, for the first time. To get in the mood for fabric shopping, I decided to wear a fully me-made outfit, pairing my handmade jeans with the embroidered white blouse. Unfortunately, I didn't find any fabric that I was drawn to, but I picked up some notions like stretch lace and bias tapes for piping. And then it was time to say goodbye to Tokyo and to my sister and head down to Okayama Prefecture by Shinkansen. My outfit for the day was the matching linen blend vest and cardigan, paired with my jeans for comfort on the long journey. Inside the Shinkansen, it was nice and cool, so the cardigan was the perfect choice. After that, I hopped onto a local train from Okayama to Kurashiki. It was only about 15 minutes, but to my surprise, it was absolutely jam-packed. Kurashiki City is known for its beautiful historical district called the Bikan area, which attracts many tourists from both Japan and overseas. The weather during the day was super sunny and hot, but when I took a nice little night walk along the canal, it became much more breezy. So I was incredibly glad I had an easy layer to just pop on and off like my cardigan. As a little souvenir for myself from this lovely city, I got this assortment of Okayama lace at a beautifully curated shop called Hayashi Genjuro Shoten. The next morning, I had a lovely run around the Bikan area. I wore a plain t-shirt and a pair of leggings, which I don't actually have any footage of, but it got me thinking that maybe I should try making some athletic garments to add to my me-made wardrobe. Anyhow, this was the day I planned to head back to Okayama before spending the night near the coast at Ueno port. My outfit for the day was the open-color dress. I reached Okayama station in the late morning, left my luggage in the station locker, or a coin locker as we call them in Japan, and headed straight to the Okayama Orient Museum. It was very quiet there, so I was really able to soak in the beautiful architecture and their magnificent selection of ancient artifacts. What I loved most about this museum is that their cafe served Arabic coffee, or Turkish coffee as you might know it. It's my absolute favorite type of coffee, but it's so rare to find it here in Japan, so I was incredibly happy. After the museum, I visited the Okayama Korakuen Garden and Okayama Castle. I think it was the sunniest day of the entire trip, and I really took advantage of the weather, strolling through the lovely Japanese-style garden and admiring the striking black and white castle. And the fact that I was wearing my me-made dress made me even happier. After all the sightseeing, I caught a train down to Ueno, which is a wonderful little port town. Next up was Naoshima, which was honestly one of the highlights of my trip. It's a beautiful, quiet island in the Seto Inland Sea that has transformed into a world-famous heaven for contemporary art and architecture. It's known to be great for cycling, like many of the other Setouchi islands, but unfortunately it was supposed to be rainy throughout the day, so I decided to use the local buses instead. For this day, I packed a very special piece. This top here. Why special? Well, it's all about the fabric. The print reminds me so much of paintings by Claude Monet, and I thought it would be perfect to wear to the Chichu Art Museum since they have some of his iconic works on display there. I visited a few other museums and outdoor sculptures and did get a fair bit of rain, getting a bit wet even though I had my folding umbrella. But thanks to the quick drying nature of the polyester top and the durable denim of my trousers, it didn't really bother me at all. Like I did in Kurashiki, I enjoyed a lovely morning run in Naoshima, which was absolutely magical. After that, I headed back to Ueno by ferry and hopped on a few trains to get to Onomichi City in Hiroshima Prefecture. It's another beautiful port city with plenty of charm. I had another fully me-made outfit for the day, pairing my Isobel top with my jeans. Now, Onomichi is a very popular tourist destination, and I actually couldn't book a standard hotel room. Because of that, I ended up staying at a capsule hotel for the first time in my life, and I quite enjoyed it. After arriving at Onomichi station, I had a good hour to spare until my check-in time, so I decided to stroll around the shopping arcade right in front of the station. And that's where I found a lovely fabric shop. It was a very cozy, seemingly family-owned store, packed with piles of textiles and notions. I saw so many fabrics that I've never come across at my local haberdashery, and the owner at the shop was incredibly knowledgeable. It was such a pleasant experience. Honestly, who can walk away empty-handed from a store like that? So, I treated myself to this gorgeous khaki fabric and a pair of ready-made trousers made from top-quality bafu cloth. Let me talk about the fabric first. It is a very light twill with a blend of cotton, rayon, and wool. I tend to be drawn to busy patterns for some reason, but I'm trying to accumulate more plain fabrics lately because that's what I actually enjoy wearing on a daily basis. I immediately fell in love with this piece and I'm planning to make a relaxed shirt with it. As for the trousers, if you don't already know, bafu cloth, which literally translates to hose cloth, is a lightweight cotton fabric with a beautiful, crisp texture. Historically, it was placed under riding saddles to prevent friction, so it is exceptionally durable. When I saw this pair of trousers in the window display, I was instantly drawn to that unique texture. The store owner mentioned they didn't have it available as a roll of fabric anymore because it hadn't sold well despite the high quality. So they decided to turn the remaining stock into ready-made garments instead. It felt like a bit of a shame for the sewing community, but the trousers were so stunning, I just couldn't pass them up. So here we are. The last destination of my trip was the Shimanami Kaido, a world-famous 60 kilometers scenic cycling route crossing the Seto Inland Sea. It features 6 islands connected by bridges between the main island of Honshu and Shikoku. Among the 6, I decided to visit one by ferry and then cross a bridge to the next island by bicycle. For this date only, I wasn't wearing any me-made pieces because, as I mentioned, I was planning to ride a bike and needed something psycho-friendly. So I picked my plain t-shirt, leggings, and a striped shirt for sun protection. I landed on Ikuchijima in the morning, visited some temples and a museum, and then rented a bicycle. The ride was absolutely amazing. I crossed the Tatala Bridge, which spans about 1.2 kilometers, stopped at a roadside station called Tatala Shimanami Park, and then headed back to Ikuchijima to return my bike and hop on a ferry back to Onomichi. It felt like quite an adventure. I was a bit nervous because I hadn't ridden a bike in ages, but it turned out completely fine. I did have to push my bike up the hills, but other than that, it was a very pleasant experience. After spending a night at the hotel near Hiroshima Airport, I returned home wearing the same outfit I wore for my Shinkansen journey. So that was my entire trip with mostly me-made outfits, and I really hope you enjoyed it. If you're still here, you are very sweet. So thank you so much for spending your time with me, and bye for now.